All right, here I am. Here I'm is, and it's time for us to get down to biz because it's time to break on through. The last break on through before the runs this weekend. Let me go ahead and give you a little reminder of what's happening. This Thursday, April 17th, we will be in Youngstown, Ohio at the beautiful West Side Bowl. Can I get tickets? Yeah, you can get tickets. Get there. Get them and get there. Already a bunch of people from all over the area telling me they're coming. So, you need to be one of them. Show up and see the world's greatest rock and roll band in person. And then this Saturday, in Medford, New Jersey at Studio 67. This show is brought to you by Order of the Sacred Crow Tattoo. It starts at 8 o'clock. How many opening bands do you got to sit through? Answer, none. It's just us. It's just us. It's just us. I got more shows to talk about at the end of the show. I'll probably plug these one more time, but you know, I like to hip y'all to stuff. I like if I find out something really good, I like to hip y'all to it. And I'm going to hip y'all to something right now. How many of you like those products called Utz? Usually potato chips, you know, pretzels, cheese puffs, and all that kind of stuff. I want to hip y'all to something called Grandma Utz. That's what it's called. Grandma Utz. Plain old brown looking bag with a little old lady on the front, little graphic. Utz logo real big. Grandma Utz. Why is that so good? Why am I telling you about it? You may be asking yourself right now, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Let me read the ingredient list for you. Now, I know a bunch of y'all going, damn, Clayton, I turned in on Tuesday to hear you reading the ingredients list. It's not going to take long. It's going to take me longer to say what I just said than it is to read this ingredient list. You ready? Potatoes, lard, salt, with TBHQ and BHT to protect flavor. I see a long time ago, all potato chips were fried in lard. But then, you know, someone goes, oh man, that ain't good for you. That ain't good for you, son. Now, it's that vegetable oil that's not good for you. So they had you fooled. It's vegetable oil. So it's good for you there, go. Corn oil. It's corn. Lard would not hurt you. They're going back to old ways, old days. They're trying to make America healthy again. I mean, you probably shouldn't eat meat and potato chips in the first place. But small ingredient lists. The rest of the world does it. Grandma Utz. Give it a shot. How'd y'all like that artwork by Max P? And I wish I could tell you his real name, but you know everybody's got punk rock names. I don't know. I get people asking me about their order on PayPal. You know, Johnny Fiberglass or something. You know, and he wants to know where's my. Well, I don't got an order by Johnny Fiberglass. I'm Jim Sampson. Oh, okay. Well, then why didn't Jim Sampson write me and ask me that question instead of Johnny Fiberglass? Man, why don't y'all use your real names on PayPal and stuff like that, or when you order something, you know. Don't communicate with your punk rock name. You'll also see the artifacts I have up for sale. Now, you know, if you think, well, that's a little bit too high, then all you gotta say is, hey, Jeff Clayton, would you take this amount for that item that you're advertising? And I'll either say, well, I think we can work with that, or, no. So the choice is yours. I mean, the choice is mine. You just approach me. That's all. Erica says, Grandma Utz is a staple there in Telford, PA. Now, I always wondered why the people in Telford, PA were so smart. Well, there you go. That's why. Yeah, Artifacts, man. Go check them out. Lots of kill the scenes went up this morning. I'm marking all the stuff I've talked about because you know I'll talk about it again. Man, I got a request for a top 10 this week, and I think it was a pretty good one. It's gonna prompt a little bit of discussion, and I like that. This came as a request from my good pal, my personal friend, Captain Catastrophe, the world's greatest stuntman, direct from the beautiful country of Belgium. He said, "Hey, Jeff Clayton." Oh, what is that? There we go. All right. He said, "Hey, Jeff Clayton, why don't you do a list of songs or bands that you discovered through movies or television?" I thought that was a pretty good thing. It took me a little while to think about this, but of course, if you watch music documentaries, you discover a lot of stuff maybe you hadn't seen or you only heard about. I'm not going to include a whole lot of that because most music things, sorry y'all, most music things that I watch, I already know a bit about who I'm getting ready to watch something about. So it ain't like it's a complete and total, new thing. First, I'm going to start out with a couple honorable mentions. One honorable mention is from that movie Belly. There was a strip club scene or something, and the song playing, I don't remember anything about the movie. The movie might have been a real exercise in having to sit still for an hour and a half, but that song playing in that scene was Boom, Boom, Boom by Sister Nancy. So I had to find it, man. I found her album that had that on it, and much to my surprise, there were lots of other good songs on it. Now, Sister Nancy's a reggae artist. Not some New York fashion dread reggae artist. You're talking a real deal from down Jamaican town. So that's good stuff right there, man. Sister Nancy. Another honorable mention was when I watched Wattstax. See, I already knew who Rufus Thomas was. I already had some of his albums. Man, that watching him perform on Wattstax gave me a whole new appreciation for him. Especially when he goes, "Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? Ain't I'm clean?" When he's wearing his pink shorts, his pink suit jacket, and his big white go-go boots. Hey, it's all right by me. All right, here goes my list now. And some of this is going to blow y'all's mind. And I don't know if this is all. I know number one is number one. But the rest are kind of spreading here any which way. Oh, number 10 is one I talked about last week, and some of y'all commented on it because you knew exactly what I was talking about. And that's the first time I saw the band 9 Below Zero on the Young Ones playing the song 11 plus 11. I just thought they were fantastic. I love that clip. That clip is awesome. I think Clayton put it in the comments last week. You got 3 more weeks to find it, unless he puts it in there tonight. I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing over there, Clayton? Clayton, you getting ready for Youngstown, Ohio? So yeah, 9 Below Zero on the Young Ones was one of those things that I was just like, I never heard of them. I never heard that song, and I was a fan. I was a fan until I got their album. Their album was not that good, in my opinion. But what do I know? The next was when I first saw the Stray Cats on Fridays. Y'all remember the show Fridays? I'd never heard of the Stray Cats. I didn't know about the Rockabilly Revival. I was just watching Fridays. One Friday night, here comes this band, the Stray Cats. This is when they wore black makeup under their eyes and stuff, and man, I just thought they were incredible. And the next day, I was driving all around Albemarle Town trying to find somebody that had the Stray Cats album, but it was only an import at the time. They had really taken England by surprise, and hadn't quite caught on here until Fridays. Then they caught on. Imagine this, if you will. I don't remember what year it was. It had to be 77. Maybe it was earlier. Does anybody know what year it was when, I guess Nugent was promoting Weekend Warriors, maybe? But he hosted the Midnight Special. And that was like a hard rock Midnight Special. They had Aerosmith, the film clip from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. They played a clip of Thin Lizzy from The Rainbow. But they're live. Or they played a clip of REO Speedwagon. But Nugent was there in the studio live, and then this other band I'd never heard of, called AC/DC, came out and played Sin City. Anybody have any idea what year that would have been? Man, all I know is we're watching. I'm sitting there, late at night, small house on the New London Prairie, and you got to know something, man. We didn't have cell phones, and you had to go use a rotary dial. I was calling my friends up, man. It's like late at night, so you had to go. You had to talk like, hey man. But man, me and my friends were on the phone. Man, did you just see that group AC/DC? The rest is, as they say, history. AC/DC, Midnight Special. Man, I was hoping they played another song, but all they had them do on there was Sin City. But it was enough to permanently blow my socks off. Next, and these are things you're probably not going to understand. Well, this one you'll understand. When I saw the Castaways on the movie It's a Bikini World, you see, Saturday afternoons used to be filled with them playing a lot of the beach movies. And then, you can watch Kung Fu Theater. And stuff. But they played It's a Bikini World. This was a little bit more gritty than your typical Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello, which I like those just fine. But this one is this is from 1967, and it had other groups on it, the Gentrys and the Animals, and you know, the Gentrys with Jimmy Hart. And the Animal, I already knew who the Animals were, so I was excited to see them. But man, when the Castaways came on and did Liar, 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 that's on fire, man, it was awesome. And I became a Castaways fan on the spot immediately. If you want to watch that movie, It's a Bikini World. They played a club called the Dungeon, and Sid Haig was like the club owner that was hiring all the talent, you know, hiring the dancing girls and the bands, and he was conducting the auditions and stuff. But the stage was like the mouth of a big dragon or something with teeth on it. It was wonderful. All right, I'm going to keep going here. Now, I had heard Bela Lugosi's dead ever since I started going to the Milestone. But I didn't really know much about Bauhaus until I saw The Hunger. You know the movie with David Bowie, Susan Sarandon, I know the scene was brief, but it was pretty intense. It gave a visual to go with that song you've been hearing, you know, at the Milestone every weekend. Probably 6 or 7 times on that jukebox every weekend. So yeah, I became a Bauhaus fan. Like I said, I'd heard Bela Lugosi's dead, but when I saw their, you know, it's just basically Peter Murphy's face in a cage, but it was pretty impressive. And I became a fan. Another artist I became a fan of at first viewing. And this is one where me and Malcolm Tent have an appreciation for this guy. There's some things we talk about and Malcolm does not appreciate, which is a shock to me. But I would have bet the farm that Malcolm Tent, if I didn't know already, I would bet the farm that Malcolm Tent was a fan of Klaus Nomi. And that was from discovering him on Erg, A Music War. Now you say, well, there's a lot of other... Yeah, but see, I knew all of them. I knew Chelsea. I knew the Cramps, which the Cramps stole that whole movie, if you ask me. And I knew the Police and, you know, tons of other people on there. So Klaus Nomi. Now these are some going to have you scratching your head. But you know what? I don't care. That's the way I like to do it. One of my favorite movies is Bend It Like Beckham. Soccer movie. I don't care about soccer, but I love that movie. And in that movie, one of the songs that played, of course, they played some great Curtis Mayfield, like "Move On Up." But a song that kept kind of reoccurring in it called "Inner Smile" by a group called Texas. Now I went and tried to listen to them. And I didn't really care for anything else they had going on, but that song "Inner Smile," I really liked it. And I don't know if any of you look it up, Texas, "Inner Smile," y'all gonna go, Clayton's done lost his mind. But maybe you have, maybe I ain't. Let's see here. Let me get me another pen that works. See, Malcolm's chiming in now when you bring up Klaus Nomi. All right. I guess this is number 3. I was watching Sopranos. Well, me and the First Lady watched Sopranos the entire season, all of them. At least, I would say at least once every other year. And for those of you familiar with the show, do you remember the scene where they bring Jimmy Altieri into the hotel with the promise of having his mind blown, among other things, by these Russian girls? Because they suspected him of being a rat. Well, during the scene, there's a song playing in the background. It's supposed to be like it's playing there, in the hotel. And every time I heard it, I was just like, man, is that a Sade song I don't know about? But it turns out it's a group called Saint Etienne. The song is called Wood Cabin. I love it. Y'all know how I love Sade. You know how I love some smooth sounds. Well, that hit the spot for old JC. Now, this one's going to surprise you because I have to preface it with, okay, back in the early 80s, like 84, 85, when we were hanging around, the bass player that played on Honor Among Thieves was a fellow named Dale Duncan. He and Joe Young worked at Record Bar in the South Park Mall together. And Dale had played in a lot of psychedelic bands and some country rock bands out in Missouri. And it was through Dale we were introduced to Rick Knoll of Redline, Pennsylvania, who's the head honcho at Bonafide Records. He agreed, after having our first record, he agreed to put out Honor Among Thieves. Now, it took Rick a while. That's why our third record, that's a confusing tale. You've heard me tell it before. But, like I said, Dale played a lot of psychedelic groups, garage rock stuff. And man, he had, back then, you couldn't just look up something on YouTube and hand somebody your phone and go, man, check this out. No. There's a lot more, you had to do a setup and stuff. Dale had a bunch of really good videos. And he says, man, have you guys ever heard of Rocky Erickson? And I'm like, no. Have you heard of the 13th Floor Elevators? Oh, yeah, I know who they are. Rocky is the singer of the 13th Floor Elevators. He told us the story about him getting arrested, serving time in the mental institution. He says, the stuff that he does on his own is way better, and it's all sci-fi and horror. And so I'm just like, man, this is right up my alley. He played that video where he's like sitting in a graveyard. It's during the day, and I think he plays Creature with the Atom Brain. So, but see, I didn't know this. Years before, when I was living way down in the Gulf Coast, a buddy of mine is much older than me, but he was sending me cassette tapes when I moved back here to Carolina. And he had a song on it called Two-Headed Dog. But it was not by Rocky Erickson. It was being covered by a group called the Shit Dogs. So any of you Lazy Cowgirls fans, maybe you know something about the link between the Shit Dogs and the Lazy Cowgirls. But I'd always had this song, Two-Headed Dog. Well, I got to hear Creature with the Atom Brain And then there was that scene of him in the car doing Right Track Now. And I was hooked. I loved this guy. I loved him. But see, like I said, back then, if you wanted to find something about something, you had to go look for it. What, you couldn't just pull it up and have the whole catalog at your fingertips. Oh, no. Well, man. So, fast forward to early to mid-'80s. And I go see Return of the Living Dead. Probably saw it about 6 times in theater, to be honest with you. But the scene where the guy puts himself into the crematorium, puts his ring on the thing, and sends himself into the crematorium, and they're playing "Burn the Flames" by Rocky Erickson. Well, man, I would sit in the theater watching all the end credits and watching all the song, and here comes "Burn the Flames." Rocky Erickson. No wonder I love it. It's by that guy, Rocky Erickson. Well, man, I happened to be at the record exchange one day, and I found that compilation. It was an English import called "I Think of Demons." Green cover with the 3 demon circle, like in pink. And man, I flip it over, and there, lo and behold, the first song on the record is "Two-Headed Dog." So that was full circle for me. If it hadn't been for Return of the Living Dead, I might not have put all those puzzle pieces together. So there. But man, I gotta tell you, my number one. By an artist named Dorando. The song is called "Didn't I?" And I discovered that off the soundtrack of Breaking Bad. I was watching it I don't like to watch those shows when they first debut and you have to wait a week for the next episode. I'm a fan of binge watching. First Lady is too. And one night I was staying up watching a few episodes in a row, and I happened to fall asleep. Well, I wake up and there's this song playing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And I was thinking, man, I hope this ain't one of those college kids, trying to sound R&B and doing a really good job of it. But, give credit where credit's due. But I just found, I had to go on, since that stuff had already been out, all the information was online. Hey, soundtrack to, I don't know, season 4. Season 4, episode 6, music. And I was just like, Dorando. So, man, I immediately looked up Dorando, found out there was a whole album. Got it on vinyl, got it on CD as well. The rest of the record was good. It was really good. But it wasn't better than that song, "Didn't I?" So, hats off, drinks up to whoever it was that found that and put it in the Breaking Bad soundtrack. I'll tell you which episode it was. It's the one where Walter White is in a gas station and there's a guy, a real obnoxious businessman on a cell phone, and he's just being a real jerk on the phone, talking about women, and everybody in the store is just looking at him like, I wish he'd shut up, and he's being real rude to the clerk and stuff, and Walter decided he'd had enough of this guy, so he just walks out, pops his hood, does a few things with some wires, and it just sits there, and when he goes out there to start it, the engine catches on fire, and Walter just, calmly walks away, That song was playing when I woke up, and I sat there and just listened to the whole thing. Durando. Didn't I? Hey, Claytonzilla, why don't you post me a YouTube link to Durando, didn't I? Right here in the body of the break on through. So people, I mean, you're not going to do all those, but just that one so people know what my main #1 pick was. Now, y'all, in the comments, just because I'm not going to be on much longer, but you can go print some stuff you discovered through TV shows or movies. Well, I told you I had more shows to announce, and I most certainly do. April 26th, the Clayton and Wensil band will be playing live at the Kingdom Corner in Mount Pleasant, North Carolina at 12 noon. Man, when you get done listening to some good old gospel music, then you can shop around in the corner for a while. And it'll take you a while to go through it all. I promise you that. But you're going to get to see our debut live performance. I think it's going to go pretty well. I really do. And I think it's going to be a fun time, and hopefully you will get something out of it. Well, man, I'm telling you what, everybody wants the festival. Oh, man, we want the big gatherings like they used to do with the COS and all that. Well, we kind of got it started, but a little bit of a bumpy ride when y'all's when y'all's COVID took over. It's been kind of hard to get back on the saddle with it. But we're gonna give it one more shot. September 19th and 20th at Ground Zero. Rule Breakers Ball 2025. Now, it's gonna be 2 nights of rock and roll like you ain't ever seen. Antiseen. Rancid Vat, yes, Rancid Vat, rising up from the ashes like a phoenix. Before I Hang, that's right. Walt Wheats, Rockin' Pop Teenage Combo, playing live direct from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, in Ground Zero, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Oh, and lots of others. The Reformation of the Great Taped Fist, featuring our main Mang Mondo, not to be confused with Durando, on lead vocals. And man, there's gonna be some other stuff. I'm gonna give a final band lineup. I gotta go through and tell all the bands all the rules they gotta follow for this Rule Breakers Ball. Once we get everything cleared away. Malcolm says he found Kid Creole. Man, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that right there. I do. There's probably a few things I did see off Saturday Night Live. But like I said, with Fridays, I already knew the band. Like when the Plasmatics were on, I knew what I was getting into. The Clash. But man, that's all I got for right now. And all I can say is, man, y'all know I've been yawning more than usual. I am tired. I am so tired. You can sing that Ozzy song now. I am so tired. So tired. But, yeah. Practicing with the boys tomorrow and on the road Thursday morning to Youngstown, Ohio, where we're going to rock you, sock you. I don't even gonna bother going any further with that. It's just gonna be rock 'em sock 'em. We're gonna rock 'em sock 'em you at the West Side Bowl in Youngstown on Thursday night, and on Saturday night we'll be in Medford, New Jersey, all you folks from Philadelphia, take the ride. Come on inside. Don't try to hide. You hear me, Clyde? So, Erica's, you coming Saturday. Great, great. I've seen a lot of folks telling me about they're coming to Youngstown. That's great. I've heard from Tom Dart, Bill from the Pagans and the Guillotines, Art Ettinger. Man, a good amount of folks coming out because they know what's good for them. They know what's right. They know how to make it through the night. Well, listen. Well, Kyle, I'm getting ready to sign off, and you, man, as soon as I'm signed off, you can go back and listen from the beginning. Good stuff tonight. Just cutting it a little short because, you know, you just got home from your union meeting, so I know you're working class. Well, you know I'm working class, and I have worked so much just in 2 days that I don't even have any class. It's like, wait, what do you mean now? What do you mean now? But did you say Doc Dart? What are you talking about, Walt Wheat? Man, this is some of your abstract Zappa thinking. I don't even know what you're talking about. But I'll see you tomorrow. Can you dig it? Talking to Walt and Malcolm and Barry. But, y'all take care. I love you. God loves you. And I hope y'all have a fantastic week and an even better weekend, because I hope y'all are coming to either the show Thursday or the show Saturday and hanging out with the boys that make the noise. The world's greatest rock and roll band, Antiseen. Well, y'all, it's been great. Short but great. And that ain't the only time some of y'all's heard that. All right, well, Eric Reno coming from New Hampshire. Gonna be there Thursday. You coming Saturday too, aren't you, Eric? Man, it's gonna be like an old time family reunion. I can't wait. Y'all be careful getting there. You be careful going home. We'll do the same. We'll see you Thursday. We'll see you Saturday. And for those of you who can't make it, well, then I will see you right back here on Tuesday on Break On Through. Take care, everyone, and thank you.